Hi Raj, good morning.
Hi Neeraj, good morning.
Hi Khushi.
Hi, good morning.
How are you guys doing?
Doing great. How have you been?
I've been excellent. Okay, so first of all, congratulations,
Thank you. Thank you
right,
very much.
for all the success that you achieved and after all the effort you have put in, and I guess the whole family has put in, right? It's not one person's effort normally, but that's the purpose of this call to understand um, what this has been like, what have been the challenges, what have you learned from this, can your juniors learn something from you? That's really the objective, and I'll try and keep it as crisp and short as possible because I know your time is limited. um, so to begin with, and the questions are, I mean, for both of you to answer, anybody can jump in because I know you've been like working really closely together. So, a quick sort of overview of where are you coming from, your school, your subjects, and where are you headed?
Yes, so I'm Khushi. I'm from National Public School, Koramangla. That's where I did my 11th and 12th. The subjects I took were physics, chem, maths, biology, along with English, PCMB. I'm from CBSE board, and I've chosen.
So, typically, PCMB is known as the most difficult combination, right? It's the gold standard where you take everything possible. Even when people take PCM, they try and take E or something so that they don't take C because C is more difficult. But taking B is sometimes the most difficult of all of the subjects, right? So, what is your thought about that? Do you think PCMB was really difficult or it was a piece of cake?
I wouldn't call it a piece of cake, but then I don't think it was too difficult either. Not as difficult as I expected it to be. Honestly, I'm someone who enjoyed biology, and there was things to learn, but then every subject has things to learn. So I didn't find it too difficult. Again, I can't compare it to computer science and economics because those aren't subjects I have taken, but
Sure.
I didn't find it too difficult.
Okay.
I would
Okay.
just add that possibly in the family we tried to encourage her to choose her subjects. In fact, to share the facts with you, when the subjects were chosen, uh, basis what was the trend, she had opted for PCM, and instead of B, it was computer science because we thought that might aid in her preparations. But then within a day or so, she came back and said, "I don't want to leave biology." I said, okay, fair enough. Are you sure that because this is going to be difficult? I mean, we have teachers and other people in our family who were also surprised and actually advised her to go against PCME. But since she wanted to have biology, we said, okay, fine, let's go with this and we'll see as it comes.
Right. Right. Okay. So you think it was okay for junior students who want to take PCMB? Um, would you say word of caution? It's going to be a lot of work, or would you say if you're passionate, it'll just get done?
I guess if you're passionate, it will just get done. I think taking maths really aids even in biology, the overall mindset, and there is the application of maths in some parts of biology. So I think it's important to take maths, even if you want to really take biology, and it's manageable. If you're passionate about it, then completely go for it.
Okay. Okay. So the other question is that so you took PCMB and then you decided to prepare for abroad, prepare for India, look at engineering, look at medicine, like you looked at everything, right? Why was that?
I was actually very undecided about what I wanted to do in 11th, and that didn't seem to change as the 2 years progressed. I have interests in every field, and I could go for anything. Like, I didn't really have a particular choice, so I decided to try my hand everywhere and see where it takes me.
Okay.
I think in our family, we realized that going for abroad applications as well as preparing for internals are going to be extremely challenging. So it was like, that we decided to kind of share the burden. We said, okay, fine. She had some profile attributes like she had music, dance, and co-curricular activities, which are very suited for abroad applications to good universities. And that happens many months prior to the competitive exams here. But then the preparation is quite sapping. So we decided that we'll take care of this and you focus on one aspect. So while we did everything, it was a conscious choice to kind of divide the load completely. Um, we tried our best, but I think she uh, did not require this for the internal competitions in India.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, Khushi, you had saying something?
I'm saying it's only with everyone's support, the family background, that all the results turned out the way that they did. But yes, the load was completely divided. I focused more on the internal studies, and my father, my parents, they helped me a lot with the abroad applications, even with the studies. But abroad applications was something I really couldn't have done without them.
So, that's a question we get very often from parents and students to say, can I apply to colleges abroad and do competitive exams in India? And it's a very difficult question to answer because every child is different, every parent is different. Um, and from the people who try, there are very, very few who are able to do both. Because if you're aiming for the IITs, or if you're aiming for even NITs or BITS, or if you're aiming for good medical colleges, or if you're aiming for good colleges abroad, none of these options can be a plan B, right? Because all of them require so much effort. So sometimes people say that, okay, I will apply abroad and I will keep NITs as my plan B, or I will apply do JE, but I'll keep US as my plan B. Now, they all require so much effort that to make something a plan B is really difficult. So you are one of those few kids that we see who's able to crack almost everything. So let's spend some time on that. So finally, how was 12th and what all did you write? What exams did you write and what is the outcome that you are sitting on? I mean, I know, but for everybody who will watch this, tell me what offers do you have or what colleges do you have available?
Of course. So in 12th, I primarily focused on the Indian entrance exams. I have given JE Mains, JE Advanced, NEET, BITSAT, LSAT. Under JE Mains, I've given all B Planning, B Architecture, and of course, B Technology. These are the exams I've given in 12th.
That's it.
Yep.
Okay. And what options do you have? What offers? What colleges?
And of course, sorry to interrupt. I mean, you forgot SAT and TOEFL and APs as well.
Of
Right,
course. So those were exams I'd given in 11th.
right, right. At the end of 11th, yeah.
Yep, at the end of 11th.
Okay. So what college options do you have today or you had in the last few months?
Of course. So from India, I had offers in IITs, NITs, BITS. I didn't go for the All India counseling, but I could have, if I had participated in it, I could have gone in St. John's, BMCRI. Okay,
For
wait.
medicine.
Yeah, I did not participate in the Karnataka counseling. I did participate in the All India counseling. I messed up there. So from the All India counseling, I got Atal Bihari Vajpayee, LSAT, OP Jindal. I got School of Planning and Architecture from my B Planning and B Architecture papers. So these are the offers in India. Abroad, I got into UCI, um, University of Wisconsin-Madison, Purdue, um,
Virginia Tech.
Virginia Tech.
Yeah. So you've had excellent colleges outside. You've had excellent medicine colleges in India, including St. John's, which you could have gotten. You got for engineering, you got IIT, and if I'm not wrong, IIT Bombay. Um, so, so which are the IITs that you have cracked?
So I could have gotten all the IITs. I chose IIT Bombay.
Yeah, yeah. So you're being very humble. So you basically cracked everything, right? You cracked medicine, you cracked engineering, you cracked colleges abroad. So where are you going and how was that choice made?
I am going for engineering at IIT Bombay. Uh, Personally, choosing between medical and engineering was the hardest choice for me. I did go with engineering because firstly the counseling happened before NEET, and also it's IIT. So
Right, right. Okay. So between medicine and engineering, it wasn't that, this about engineering, this about medicine. Was there like a spreadsheet that you made? Was there criteria that you looked at?
of course, I did consider, basically in engineering, you have a lot of choices even after you complete engineering. And even during the 4 years, especially when you go to a good institute, you have a lot of opportunities to explore research or even many other things like finance. If you want to go into biology, there's an option for that too. There's a lot you can do during the 4 years and even after the 4 years. Medical, however, I feel, and what I've heard from the views that I've gathered while considering my options, is that it's more restrictive than engineering. You can only become a doctor, and it's a really, really long journey. So with engineering, you can still get into biology and you can explore a lot of other fields. So that's why I chose engineering.
Okay, okay, that's pretty cool. Sorry, Raj, were you saying something?
Yeah, I just adding that even among IITs and all the institutions, IIT Bombay, possibly because not only for the purpose of engineering, but the environment, the location, and the peer group. I think that's one thing about IIT coming from one of those institutes myself. I think is a key proposition. You can white base yourself, learn tons of things, make good networks, and go in several directions from where it ends. And especially in IIT Bombay, some of the things, lucrative things were how wide base you can be as much as you want. So that is what helped us to choose IIT Bombay. And in fact, one of the criteria, although this should not be possibly one of the basic ones, is that in the family we realized going to IIT Bombay, she will still be able to spend some time with us during the summer vacations or winter vacations as compared to going to St. John's, where while she might be in Bangalore, but she won't have more than 2 weeks of vacation in the first year. So that was a family's
Right,
consideration that at least we'll have some more time with you when you
right,
go.
right, right. Okay, so now the million dollar question, which is how much did you study? Like, how many hours did you put in? What are those three golden rules, right? Don't use smartphone, study for 6 hours a day, whatever. What are those golden rules?
Um, I think the first golden rule is that enjoy your journey. If you can't enjoy your journey, you get tired really fast. If you don't enjoy the journey, you probably won't get the result. You won't be able to get the result. However, even if you enjoy the journey and if you're satisfied with it, irrespective of the result, you're going to be happy. Plus, you increase your chances of getting a good result. Second, I would say a strong mindset is very important. You really need to have faith on yourself. And of course, there are times when you feel low, when you get distracted, when you feel completely drained out. It's perfectly okay to take a break and take support from others, especially your family and friends. But having faith in yourself is very important. A lot of people don't have it. They are working towards this goal, but they don't really think they can do it. When you believe you can do it, I think the way you look at things, the way you approach things, it completely changes. So having a strong mindset and enjoying the journey, I think these two are very important. Another thing is for Indian entrants, especially, get your concepts cleared. Focus on covering the concepts rather than going for a lot of material. Even if you can just cover the NCRT concepts properly, practice the questions from previous year papers, that is more than enough. But get your concepts clarified, and it's you who's going to get it clarified, not the coaching you're going to, not the school. I mean, it's up to you. You can ask your teachers, you can ask your peers, you're supposed to do that, but ultimately it depends on you and no one else how you manage.
Right, right, right,
I
right.
mean, I
Okay.
would just add to that. It's whenever anyone asks me as a parent that what did she prepare, which all packages, it's really a little challenging to explain. You know what? Her focus completely was to cover topics in NCRT, get the concept clarified, and use a previous year question to familiarize with the pattern, and develop the thought process. And not really go for, although we had the books, but I can show you they were as packed as when they were delivered. So whether it's Resnick Halliday or Shears Zemansky or similarly chemistry and maths books, they were procured but not touched.
Okay. So two questions, Khushi. One, um, did you, like you said, you need to have faith in yourself. Did you believe you'll be able to crack all these things?
Initially, honestly, I wasn't sure. I just started preparing for it. But I think my parents really helped me a lot, my dad, in developing this mindset. Also, as I worked through problems and I realized I could see my progress in when I approached the same question, how I know more concepts. And then when I also started doing previous year questions, I could see myself gradually improving. Not always, many times the graph did go downwards, but there was an overall improvement. So, actually, working through the questions, getting more concepts cleared, did boost my confidence. I think towards 12th, I did believe in myself. I believed that I could do it. I had the ability to do it, and I'm putting in my best efforts. So, there's a high chance they would pay off. Of course, no one is sure if it's going to happen or not, but I did believe in myself.
Very good. And how many hours did you study approximately in a day, including everything, coaching for medicine, coaching for JE, coaching for school exams?
This is a tough question to answer. Maybe
Approximately.
very hard to believe. I don't think I have spent more than, I don't know, 3 to 6 hours a day.
Really?
At least initially. Towards the end, in the last 2, 3 months, I did increase my study time by a lot because obviously the exams are nearer. But so my strategy was just going, clarifying the concepts with school, and going with school didn't really take more than 3 to 6 hours. Even 6 hours is quite a large number of hours.
Oh,
I
really?
didn't study too much.
Okay. Wow. Wow. That's quite a thing. Okay. And how was the 12th result?
So I scored a 97.4% overall.
Okay.
I I got a 99 in maths, a 98 in physics and chemistry, a 97 in biology, and 95 in English.
Okay. Okay. So good scores everywhere, really. Okay. Okay. Last is a combined question on what role. I know you worked with Spark throughout this, and when I used to get weekly updates about how you're doing, what role did Spark play? What role did family play? And were there any other significant contributors who I'm not aware of?
So Spark played a really important role, especially in the abroad applications. I could all the guidance through Spark is what got me through it. Every single thing. I mean, I could call up my mentors at any time for essay corrections and also planning the entire application process. The advice, it was completely needed, and that helped. Also, with respect to my preparation in India, anytime I needed a break, something different, because it does get monotonous. So that's where Spark really helped, especially the essay writing. It did help in a lot of reflection and introspection that contributed. Um, my parents, of course. So my dad, he encouraged me to study, to work harder, and my mom balanced by ensuring I took enough breaks. And my parents always kept anything I needed available for me. Like throughout the day, I could call them for anything. They ensured that was available. Even morally, emotionally, my parents supported me, got me through this, and they ensured that I have the minimal, like no problems at all. The environment I needed, that was provided. Even with my preparation, discussing strategies, how to planning out everything. So that's where my parents completely contributed. The another contribution, great contributors I would say, are my teachers from school who helped me cover the concepts, and also peers who I discuss doubts with, because getting doubts cleared with your peers, they are preparing for the same thing. I think that's one of the best sources you can have. And of course, I help at home, who made sure I never had to ask for anything, helped me with the smallest of things at home. So these
I
are the
would just add and say that Spark was very, very helpful.
yeah.
Not only abroad application, I realized while interacting with Spark while preparing for abroad, I mean, it's very important to have the right mindset. So the strategies that Khushi is talking about, I think I got that understanding as to how to develop that. To give an example, when we are preparing for IIT, everyone has there's a difference between having faith in yourself and having desire. So I realize all of the students, they have a huge desire, but the challenge is that they take desire for faith, which is not true. So they want to do it, but heart in heart, whether they are sure they can do it. That's the first step. That's what Khushi also spoke about. That was very important trait that I think I learned from Spark, which from the process point of view, of course, abroad applications, but from the overall preparation, having faith is paramount. Because then, and second thing, we knew that with like more than 10 lakh students appearing, the results are out of our hand. But
Correct.
having faith in yourself and preparing is what we can do. So focus on that aspect is, I think, a very, very good input and learning from Spark that helped even me to support Khushi the way I could.
Great. Thank you. Thank you. It also shows how everything is a bit of a mind game, right? If you keep a strong mind and mentally stay focused towards the goal, and like you said, Kushi, believe in yourself, there is almost nothing one can't achieve.
I agree with this. Most people really get overwhelmed, but if you can keep a strong mindset, you realize it's more people see it as more overwhelming than it should be.
Right, right. The other thing which I'm curious for, and a lot of teenagers struggle with and parents struggle with, is social infrastructure, which means your friends, parties, birthdays, those kind of things, and gadgets, media. So give me 30 seconds on, do you have a lot of friends? You did go out for some social gatherings. You never went out. Do you have a smartphone? Do you have Instagram? How much time do you spend on those kind of things? That's what is consuming people today.
So I do have a few close friends, 5, 6 of them in school, and I don't think you have to stop going out for parties and socializing. In fact, doing that is even more draining. It will take you to your burnout point even quicker. It's important to socialize, to go out with friends, but you need to have a limit. Like, take out time in your day. I'm going to spend 3 hours doing this. Try not to exceed that. At least not by like, don't go for 5, 6 hours if you've planned out 3 hours. I do have a smartphone. I believe a lot of teenagers do. And I did, I would say, waste a lot of time on Instagram. I think it's okay though. Don't waste too much. Don't spend 3, 4 hours in a go. Maybe set a timer. Instagram, you don't realize. You think you're gonna watch 2, 3 reels, 15 minutes, and hours go away in it. But if you could set timers, if you could plan your day out ahead, that should help. Don't completely stop these things. It would just drain you really, really quick. Go for it, but be aware of how much time you're investing, and don't invest more time than you have planned than you would want to. Just be aware of where you're spending your time. That's more than enough.
This was a huge contention between I and my wife about what is it that Khushi should do with the gadgets. We were always at the opposite end. I was of the opinion that she should not, and my wife was that she's using it for the right way. So we realized after end of the journey that maybe it should be supplementing your effort only for taking breaks when it is required, not to escape from the struggle that you're feeling. So as long as you keep it as part of your plan, it's okay. But if this becomes, if you're feeling really overburdened or burned out and using this as an escape, that's when possibly this becomes having a negative impact. I mean, just to share the specifics, she did go to 3 days Vienna trip from school in the month of November.
Yep.
Wow.
In fact, we also had a fest Iris in school. I contributed to that. So don't stop going for all of these things. Another thing, if having friends is even more important, I would say don't cut them off, because when you're feeling low, they are the ones you're going to talk to. And when you see people around you going through the same thing, it does help. You can speak to them about strategies too. So
Okay, so both the social infrastructure and media, you're saying don't cut them out, use them, but use them in moderation.
yeah.
Right? Okay. So what's the road ahead? What's the I mean, now that you've narrowed down from great colleges in the US, great medical colleges, great engineering colleges, to one college, engineering in India, IIT Bombay, um, are there any thoughts about the future? What about after IIT? Is it going to be? Are you wanting to become a techie? Do you want to become do MBA and get into investment banking? Any thoughts about it yet, or too early?
I think I'm going to explore my interests over the next 4 years.
But what are
I
the top three things today in your head? If you
So
had to make a choice today, if I put a gun on your head and say, Khushi, you have to make a choice today, what will be the top three things?
I think MBA is definitely a top choice. Going for civil services in India is something I would consider. Uh, Actually, I haven't given much of a thought on this. The plan is to explore over the next 4 years and
Okay.
then take a decision.
We are just, I mean, I advised her to enjoy the first semester. I mean, not to cut off studies, but just explore, because then this is not going to come back. This is what I gathered from my experience, that just explore things at
Right.
IIT
Right.
Bombay and see and decide maybe in the second semester, because you need a preparation time. So I think she's just taking the time to
Right.
explore.
Right. Right. No, great. Great. Absolutely great. Um, so, next question, Raj, mostly for you, which is I remember the first time we had a call. You know, I can't forget. I was in a car going to the airport, and you called, and we had this conversation, and you were reasonably clear or unclear, but reasonably clear that you don't want to eliminate, India, and you want to look at. So when parents say that, I must admit I get nervous because parents don't recognize how much effort that's going to be, not just for themselves but also for the student. Right? It's a huge amount of pressure, effort, to not be able to tell your peer group or the world that I know what I'm going in for, to say I'm doing NEET and I'm doing JE and I'm doing SAT and I'm doing, like, people are like, are you crazy? What are you doing? So I was nervous, but as times progressed in our weekly reviews, what I heard from the team is that they've never seen a parent as involved as you. The kind of support you provided, the kind of effort Khushi was putting in, it was just mind blowing, right? So, apart from just appreciating you for that effort, what would be your advice to parents, right? Because I think parents play a key role in this whole journey. So, not taking away the credit from Khushi, I mean, ultimately it's all her. She's the lead player in this, and we're all sort of supporting actors, but you are the closest supporting actor. So, what would be your advice to other parents who are trying to do India and abroad, or who are just trying to help their children, right? So, what should the modus be? Were you completely hands-on? Are you, just mentoring and guiding? What's the advice?
I think I'll take three parts. I'll try to make it short. On the abroad applications, we realize it's going to be completely sapping. And I didn't hear a single suggestion to kind of go for both. But looking at Khushi's profile, I mean, we were very clear that she should go for both. So we decided to kind of take the complete load of abroad application. We said that you just appear the SAT during 11th and do away with the SAT and APs and don't look back. Just focus on one side. Abroad applications we'll take care of. I mean, irrespective of what comes, we decided that Khushi will only kind of participate as a break, going through the essays, whether it synchronizes with her thought process, but not for her to participate, because then this will be a distraction. So that was the first part. I mean, if we had failed, we would have dropped the abroad applications instead of engaging Khushi for that. So I must admit that this was really, really tedious. I kind of little underestimated it. So even I had to spend late nights with Khushi while she was working on her competitive exams. I was working on essays, but that was good. I had someone to kind of work alongside with me. That was the first thing. Second, in terms of the mindset, as Khushi spoke, I had a huge support to balance me out in my wife. So I was a little pushy to Khushi in terms of the amount of effort she was putting in. But I think my wife was significantly balancing. And what we were aligned at is, again, as I cited earlier, is that outcome was out of our hands. We at no point in time we were sure of what the outcome will be, but we realized that the effort on the basis of her best capabilities is what we should focus on, because as we as much as we focus on that, we know that outcome, whatever is it, that's the best outcome that we are getting. So
Hmm.
with that balanced approach we move. Now in terms of being hands-on, I guess I try to be as much hands-on as possible with Khushi to understand her mindset better. so that whenever she felt a little troubled or getting overwhelmed, we kind of took a break, which was somewhere between from few hours, worst case, to 7 or 8 hours or a complete day, just to kind of bring her back. Instead of, I mean, at one point in time, whenever, not at one point, but whenever she had any kind of a self doubt or overwhelm situation, we had to come back and say, you know what, don't bother. Let's just take a break. Let's just get back to work. So I, I mean, it worked, but then irrespective of the outcome, we were sure that whatever she has done is good, and we'll move in whichever direction the results point us to. I think the stars also favored us to kind of have everything worked out, but that's where we restricted ourselves. We never really focused on what are going to be the outcome till we started to receive them.
Wow. Wow. So you're saying focus on the effort, focus on maintaining a balance. Don't worry so much about the outcome,
Absolutely.
and make the other resounding theme I'm getting from both of you is make your own decisions and believe in yourself.
True.
Don't worry so much about the world is saying don't do both, don't do this, don't do that. You make your decision. You believe in it and you go after it.
True.
Right? Don't overthink it.
True.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll just add, I'll take 10 more seconds about this. For NEET, frankly, Khushi did not go for any coaching separately.
Oh
She
wow.
relied completely on her preparation of IDJ
My
and
God.
CRT. So, and frankly, for the focused NEET preparation, the second session of JEE Mains happened first week of April, and first week of May was when the NEET exam was scheduled, and then JEE Advanced was scheduled in first week of June. So she started her NEET preparation somewhere on 15th of April. So her NEET preparation was restricted from 15th of April to 7th of May. Now, we were also nervous at that point in time because everyone was suggesting that since he has done pretty well in JEE Mains across the board, she should focus on the first week of June JEE Advanced. But Khushi wanted to do the NEET as well. So we actually took practically 20 days out and prepared. She prepared for NEET between 15th of April and first week of May. But then we realized that while these two are different streams, the preparation has a lot of overlap in terms of the mindset as well as the content. For example, physics and chemistry make a huge portion, and they somehow supplement the understanding in biology also, and vice versa. So while there may be thoughts whether she could have done better in ITJ had she not done the NEET, or vice versa, had she prepared the NEET little more, she would have gotten a better rank. I think we are good with that.
Yeah, yeah, no, phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Um, and it's mind blowing that she has done NEET without external coaching. It's absolutely mind blowing. When you did it alongside doing JE and US and all that is, of course, crazy. But on top of that, you don't even do full time coaching. And come to think of it, how would you do it? How many coachings can you do really? Right? You're one person with 24 hours in a day. Outstanding. Just brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So Khushi, now that you are, NPS Koramangala is an absolutely phenomenal school. No doubt about it. I've done many sessions there, and so we've seen some brilliant kids come out of NIT and NPS Koramangala. So you've done well. You've managed your NPS journey, CBSE journey. You've done well in school, high school. You're going to one of the best, if not the best, universities in the country to do your engineering. Um, Alongside, you cracked NEET, and and NEET also, not just any NEET. I mean, St. John's and all are amongst the top colleges. Do you recognize your potential? Do you recognize that you are unique? Do you recognize that your potential is very, very high, and you could, just like you, with your parents' guidance, made a decision which was against the norm? You didn't take the beaten path, right? You didn't take the beaten path where people would say, only do NEET, only do JE, and you're like, no, I'm going to do both, and I'm going to do US also. So you didn't take the beaten path. You believed in yourself. You made it work. Right now, you're going to IIT Bombay. You will again find all kinds of people. You will find people who will say, I want to get the best job. I want to work for Microsoft. I want to work for Google. I want to work for Apple. This company gives the biggest package. And there's nothing wrong in that. It's absolutely fine to do that. And then there are people who will say, I want to do an MBA. But I think it's extremely important, and I want to leave this with you, that you are one of those very few rare people whose potential is perhaps in the top 1%. I mean, are you the top of the country? Maybe, maybe not. But you're clearly in the top 1% of the country in your peer group, right? So the most important thing going forward from here is to be fearless, right? Because that's what has won for you till now. That's what has worked out. You guys were fearless. Everybody said, don't do both. You said, we will do both, US and India. Then people said, don't do NEET and JEE. You said, we will do both. And you cracked everything. So your fearless attitude, your belief in yourself, you're not worrying as much about the outcome as about the effort has really worked for you. My only word of caution is, as you go forward into this world, people will try and more put you into a box, right? People will more and more try and tell you, you're IIT Bombay, this is what you should do. And that's fine if that's what you want to do. But people like you can do anything. People like you change the world, right? You are the one who could, despite engineering, be working on some research lab someday on some new vaccination. You could be coming up with some the next version or next innovation after AI and ChatGPT. You could do anything, right? You've proven to yourself in the world that you're not just going to be a great engineer, you're going to be a great professional, a great thinker, a great innovator, right? So keep that in your mind as you step forward, and you've got a great set of parents who are always standing behind you. And people like us are just happy to take credit because you're associated with us, to be really honest. And we would want to always say, no, I mean, see, I mean, we get a lot of students and some do well, some don't do well. And we say, oh, we guide everyone. And that's the fact. Some people take that guidance and they are really smart and they do well. Some, despite all guidance, are not able to do so well. So we would always be standing there trying to take credit to say, this great genius is our prodigy and used to be our student one day and all that. But leaving that aside, a lot of us will be around you and guide you and take credit from you. But the most beautiful thing about you is your belief in yourself. Based on that, you can do pretty much anything. The odds were not in Obama's favor to ever become the president of America, right? Coming from the background that he came from, but he believed in himself. So I'm saying that's who you are. You can pretty much do anything. Just believe in yourself. And we will always be here for you. Your parents will always be here for you. But all the best. And we look forward to seeing your journey ahead. We will be curiously, eagerly watching.
Thank you very much. I think if anyone truly believes in themselves and puts in efforts in the right direction, they will get the best outcomes. So everyone has potential, but thank you for all that you've said.
I mean, it was a humble gesture from you, Neeraj, but we do appreciate a lot of help in terms of setting up our mindset in all the preparations from you and other mentors from Spark. So I think that was invaluable. And that's what I think Khushi is taking with her. She is all by herself. And we kind of just keep our fingers crossed that she moves in the right direction. I think we just share that just be happy, have faith in yourself. Some things will work out, some things will definitely not work out.